Fox 46 Good Day Charlotte starts right now.
New this morning, the debate rages on as to whether or not it's safe to send students back into the classroom. Some schools here in our area are doing that. Others are still waiting. Joining us this morning to discuss some safety guidelines the schools need to consider, Dr. Anna Maria Temple. Good Friday to you, Dr. Temple.
Good Friday. So great to be here.
Woo! Okay, listen, here we go. Let's just get right to this debate, because this has been since last March, almost a year we're coming up now, where learning about COVID, we're just hearing that schools, it's a cesspool for germs and the spreading of COVID-19. Now we're finding out data that says that's not so.
Right. You know, the data that we were worried about and were concerned about is coming from the cold and flu season, during which time children in schools were spreading tons of germs and viruses and bacteria and all that stuff. And so we were so afraid. And now the data's come out. We have 3 major studies coming out of Wisconsin, North Carolina, and Mississippi showing that in-school attendance does not increase the children's exposure to COVID or the teachers necessarily. And what we're seeing is that what we thought before is really not true now. But why? Well, the parents now know not to send the kids sick to school. The schools are putting in place protocols to make sure they're screening the children appropriately. People are washing their hands. They're social distancing. They're wearing masks. So they're putting in place a lot of stuff that we've never had before. And we're seeing it that is actually working, and the children can return to school safely.
Well, and what's interesting is this morning we had a story, and I'm just reading, the Mecklenburg County Health Department extended its COVID-19 directives following the governor's announcement, you know, to extend the modified stay-at-home order. And it recommends, with measures in place, Dr. Temple, schools can be a safe location for students, teachers, and staff. So why do you think teachers are so petrified to go back if we're finding out it is safer right now than it was a year ago?
You know, but having been at the school board meeting, it really sounded to me they don't feel supported, that they feel that the schools need to have these new things in place, like new air filtration and all these devices. And when we're looking at the schools that have just implemented simple measures that are put forth in the directive, they're doing fine. But I think that they're super confused and stressed out by what they're hearing in the media.
Okay, you represent 2 different sides of the coin here, because you are a parent and you also are a doctor. So you got both sides. I don't have the whole medical side of it. My concerns as a parent, right? CMS, right? Charlotte-Mecklenburg School District say, hey, we're not ready to go back to in-person, in-class learning, but yet it is okay. We're going to get back to sports and after-school activities. To me, that's a little conflict there, don't you think?
I'm very confused as well, because, you know, when I presented the data, you know, people are like, oh, well, there's just not, the data's not good enough. We're not sure that that is actually accurate. However, what the data is showing is that the in-person school attendance does not increase your COVID risk exposure. However, contact sports are shown to increase COVID exposure. But yet we are opening sports and not the school. I'm so confused. And where are our priorities?
Listen, I saw in a calendar, I believe it's today or next week, Republican lawmakers in the North Carolina House, I believe, are expecting to try to introduce a bill that says, listen, in-person learning should be available for every school, every district across the state. It's up to the parents to decide whether or not you want to send them. Are you kind of behind maybe favoring that type of decision looking ahead?
100%. What I'm seeing in clinical practice, so if we put the data away, that my students that are in CMS are more anxious, more depressed, they're more socially isolated. The parents are having much harder time disciplining them and working with them. And the children that are in in-person learning in our district, in North Carolina, Mecklenburg, are doing much better adjusted. They're happier. They're overall more at peace. And the families are at peace. There is a direct correlation with our children's mental health and going to in-person learning, and we cannot debate what I am seeing in clinic.
Oh, can't debate it. Listen, doctor, parent, and now preacher, Dr. Anna Maria Temple, I'm behind you. Thank you so much for kind of clearing this up, and we're going to keep moving forward and do what we can. So thank you, as always. Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend. Thank you so much.